Hi guys, welcome back. We are back for another podcast again. This is the first podcast in like ages that I don't have any topics for. So we're just gonna do like old school, just talk about whatever. I will say right before this, I was watching a reel of Arkansas, the kicker who recovered his own onside kick against Alabama.
Oh,
And
an old McAfee.
yeah, a classic McAfee he pulled on Bama, and the comments were like salty Alabama fans who were like, "Yeah, what was the final score?" So I looked up the history with Arkansas and Alabama, and yeah, Bama dominates it. But it's interesting too because before Saban was hired by Bama, the all-time record between Arkansas and Alabama was 8-8.
Oh, wow. That low?
Yeah, 8 wins, because Arkansas used to be in the Southwest Conference with Texas and all those Texas teams.
Yeah.
So they never really played each other until the SEC. They were in the SEC. But it's so funny. It was 8-8 in 2007. Now it's 24-8. So
they haven't won.
They have not won since then.
I'm
they haven't.
surprised
They
by
actually haven't played each other since 2023 because they added Texas and Oklahoma to the conference, so there's a lot more teams. So I think Arkansas's just played different. They might play this year, I don't know, but yeah, it's just weird how like all these teams in all these conferences make it so classic teams don't play each other anymore as much.
Yeah, but I mean, we get to look forward to Ohio State, Texas again.
Yeah, that one's gonna be
in Texas.
Yeah, in Texas.
A night game this time.
Yeah.
So maybe Texas will have more of a shot. The last game was boring.
It was, unless you're a fan of either team, because, you know, we were at a tailgate and there was a bunch of...
I went to the game.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were at the game with Rodney, right?
Yeah. And the game was boring. I think if all I remember from the game is more me and him talking about Florida than the actual game, just because it was really low scoring and Ohio State kind of dominated.
Rodney likes a lot of teams, doesn't he? Because he also is like, I don't know who to root for in the Big Ten championship.
Yeah, I think he is just a Florida fan, and he likes Ohio State because his friends like Ohio State.
He also mentioned that he's from Indiana, so that's why he liked the Hoosiers. He said that when we were at...
He's from everywhere.
He said that when we were playing flag football, this guy who like kind of runs the Naz League came up to him and he's like, yeah, how come you're not playing? And he's like, well, I don't even live here. I'm from Indiana. And he's like, what?
I never met an Indiana before.
And then Rodney was like, yeah, that's why I root for the Hoosiers over the Buckeyes.
You just told that random guy that?
Yeah. It was really bold for him to do it at the Ohio State-Michigan party that I went to with Tanner. And then like they had a huge watch party at his mom's house for the Ohio State-Michigan game. And Rodney was like, man, I got to root for Indiana. And everyone's like, get the hell out of here. David was freaking out.
Because they're all Purdue fans.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, Drew Brees is my god. And he's like, I like Antoine Randall L. So.
Antoine Randall, who was good. But yeah. The speaking of just kind of on this topic, because it's big news. Recently, there was a game. It was the summer showcase.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
So that was when they.
I saw some of them.
Yeah, I told you that they released or they're going to port it. Yeah, port it over finally. We'll see if it's a good port. I've played a Madden on PC before that wasn't an emulator, and it was like
the day before you mentioned that to me of college football being ported to the PC. I watched a old like Rooster Teeth Patch podcast. The Patch is like a gaming podcast that they used to do. And Bernie mentioned that the only like sports games he plays on console that he actually likes are the NCAA games. And he said, this is back in 2013, he said that he would sometimes boot up a game computer versus computer when the season wasn't going on just to watch. And then Ryan, it was funny because Ryan was like, interesting, I just read a news article, Bernie, that it says they're not actually releasing NCAA this year. This was the first year that they weren't doing it.
Yeah.
And then Bernie was like, it's fine, I haven't played it in a few years. But
yeah, I remember the 14 when it came out with Denard Robinson on the cover. And yeah, I remember as a kid watching like when people would mod it and they would add the actual players, and I was like, how do you do that? And
I think it's so interesting. I don't know. You played a little bit on the Xbox, like previous versions of the games.
Yeah, that's where I played most of NCAA.
Did they
console.
Did they have? Because when we played on the Wii, you said, "Oh wow, they have all these FCS schools." They
don't have that. That's interesting. The actual the only other port that I have that has the FCS things, which I think is just the Wii port, is on the PSP. With but the cover's different because there's a West Virginia fullback, I believe I forget his name.
There was like an old Madden 09 cover for the PlayStation 3, and it had a random Bears player, like number 68 on the Bears. I don't even know who that is. And then everyone was like, "That's just the Mexican copy." I mean, people in Mexico got that.
And then the Mexican
I was like, what the heck? They didn't get Brett Favre. They got
big Bears fans down south of the border.
Yeah.
But the showcase was really good. And speaking of a game, I think you're still playing it. I finished it. Is they're making the sequel to The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah. I just finished
which
it.
was announced like years ago.
I just finished episode 2 of that. So, yeah, it's pretty good so far.
Yeah, I replayed it. I didn't play it a long time ago. I watched it and I forgot a lot of stuff. So when I played it again, I was like, "Oh, this."
I watched Ray's reaction to his reaction to the summer showcase. He's like, "Holy crap!" And he's like, "Man, I gotta play this again because I haven't played it since 2013." And then right after he said that, they announced the remaster. He's like, "Well, that's perfect."
Yeah, even though I don't know what's gonna be in the remaster. It doesn't look different. The
same game. I think they said they're adding like behind the scenes like voice recordings and stuff like that.
If you bought the original game, it shouldn't be like more than $5 because that is just robbery if you're gonna charge.
Hey, Telltale needs money, man.
Well, evidently, it took them this long to come out of this game, and
hey, at least we have a release date with that. Whereas a game that came out the same year as The Wolf Among Us, the game that's supposed to come out after that hasn't even been announced yet with GTA 6.
Oh, yeah.
GTA 5 came out the same year as The Wolf Among Us.
That's true. All these games are kind of funneling this year too with their release dates because no one wants to release when GTA 6 releases.
It's because somebody brought up that like the summer showcase is not big enough for an announcement for a GTA 6. You know, that they need to have their own thing for that.
Well, yeah, and E3 doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Which I'm surprised. that's something COVID killed completely.
It did, yeah.
Even though I think it was ramping down anyways. But GTA 6, whenever that releases too, that's going to screw over any other game that releases the same time because unless you're a PC release. Because PC players have to wait anyways. But yeah, there's the other game. I don't know if you heard of this game because it's been in development since maybe 2014. It's more bigger on like the PC realm of things. It's Star Citizen. You ever heard of that?
No,
they probably put in like about $1 billion now into development, and it's supposed to be like this open, expansive, multiple worlds space game. That was like a Kickstarter years ago, and it was supposed to release, I think, I kid you not, like 2014 or something, and then they kept pushing it back, and now they're like, well, we're doing this thing. I don't think there's even a release date officially. They're just releasing something in 2027 for $1 billion game.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's been a joke game along with GTA.
Gotcha.
And other games.
Yeah, Ray was most excited for Code Veronica.
Yeah, that'll be good. I played the original. The original's very good. It definitely needed a remake. The original is a classic, like tanky controls. The graphics have aged, and the voice acting is horrible. But it has the Resident Evil charm. All the old Resident Evils don't have good voice acting. But I'm interested to see what they do differently, especially since in the trailer it's like they usually do this with the trailers anyways, but I wonder if you're going to play first person because the way back Code Veronica was tank controls, and the newer ones they've been flip-flopping, but in a lot of the remakes they've only been doing the third person. So I wonder if they're going to do third person or first person. And also in this game you play as two characters.
From what from the trailer, it looked like you were in first person, right? Like from the first cutscene.
But that may just be a cinematic cutscene.
Yeah.
And also in the newest Resident Evil, Requiem, that came out a few months ago, you can pick to choose from third person or first person. You can pick either one to play in.
Okay,
maybe
cool.
maybe they'll just do that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited that, and you don't have to wait too long for it because it comes out in 2027.
There you go, buddy.
So Capcom is not Konami and Capcom. Well, not Konami as much, but Capcom has been killing it with their game releases. They haven't made like a bad game yet, at least I could think of that I've been playing, but they've been really good with their franchises. Mm-hmm. They're probably one of my favorite publishers right now. And another publisher that's hasn't been good, but I think they're going through a lot of changes, is EA. They're changing their launcher on the PC. Maybe that's why they announced that college football, they're trying to get people to their launcher. And get back into EA games, but we'll see how that goes. I mean, I still think it's horrible, but it's slightly less horrible than Ubisoft. Ubisoft's probably like the bottom of the barrel. But yeah, we'll see what they do with that. But other games, I'm kind of excited. I think there's a lot of good games coming out, at least on PC. And since Xbox is shifting towards their stuff towards PC, as PC players, we're pretty much can play anything, even if it's Xbox exclusive. The company that's kind of being stupid and kicking themselves, and I think they recently increased the price on their online subscription, is Sony. Sony's been horrible, and they have like no games, and they increased the price on their not their online, their pass thing. And Xbox has decreased the price.
I saw the Microsoft.
Even though Xbox and Microsoft's smart, because they increased the price so much that when they decreased it, it's still more than what you were previously paying. So it's just a smart gimmick. You know, what you do is say like, hey, I'm going to increase the price of your subscription 2 times. And then you're like, oh, I'll move it back like a notch, a few dollars. You're like, wow, I'm paying less than I paid before. But but Xbox is popular again. I think they're on... People are more shifting towards...
They had a change in the people running it as well, right? So
yeah, even though like...
Which could either hurt or help, but they were kind of...
already done.
Suffering.
Yeah, so anything seemed to have helped, and all they had to do is a simple thing, just decrease the price. And shift more towards PC, which I think they understand that like Steam and even Epic Games is just like it's just smarter to go to PC now. And Sony was doing that. I think it was smart. What they originally was doing was re-releasing their titles onto Steam, but now they don't want to do that, which is just stupid. But yeah.
Trying to think what else we could talk about, to be honest.
Also, Sonic, I didn't get the game, but the racing game is interesting because they have like monthly things where they introduce crossovers, and they've already introduced like some weird stuff like Minecraft and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I forget the others, but it was like 6 they introduced, and now they're gonna have a Godzilla map with Sonic. Oh yeah, they introduced Avatar. That was one of them.
Oh, okay.
But so that's an interesting thing. I don't know if the Mario Kart did that. Did they know?
Mario Kart. The only thing Mario Kart did with a crossover was with their own stuff, because they had the most ambitious they got was with they added some Captain Falcon tracks, F-Zero tracks. They added F-Zero karts, and then they added Link and Animal Crossing characters and a few others, but it's just from their own IPs anyway, so it's not anything too ambitious. It's just
I like what I wouldn't spend $70 on a racing game. That's why I haven't really bought it. It has been on sale for like as low as $40, but I still don't think that's justified for a racing game. But I do like what they're doing with the crossovers, and maybe with how it's supported, it's really good to buy like years from now and have everything, and that's probably fun. There's another racing game. There's a pod racing game coming out for Star Wars that actually, the trailer looked good.
The first pod racing game that came out in the 90s was pretty good.
Yeah, and they had the little arcade thing from episode 1 where you could be an Anakin's pod racer. I remember seeing that on like vacation at Dave and Buster's Vacation. I don't know if it was ever in Columbus, but like I remember seeing that as a kid. I hopefully it's a good game. Star Wars could use
a boost.
A good game, yeah. I haven't played any of the recent ones. I just know the one I think Ubisoft published was horrible. It was like the Bounty Hunters story game.
Outlaws, I think, is what it was.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily horrible. Like I guess the gameplay's fun, but the story is so bland and forgettable that no one really bought it or played it.
And then they had that Battlefront thing that was a mess. I think they tried. It was. I don't even know how. Like I don't even know what they did wrong, but I just heard a lot of people hated it. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but it was a couple years ago.
I think they really should develop Battlefront 3. I mean, the time to release it would be soon.
Well, they had like a soft reset when Disney bought them, and they put out 2 new Battlefronts, the one from 2015 and 2017, and they actually did good stuff with Battlefront 2 from 2017 because it sucked when it launched, but then a lot of people like it now because they actually did stuff with it.
Yeah, but it's been a long time now. I feel like it's, if you want to get everyone back into Star Wars, especially since the movie kind of flopped as well. The movie, I guess on the topic really quick of the Star Wars movie, I think it was the first time a Star Wars movie didn't hit number 1 in the box office. And the interesting now is the 2 top movies were movies directed by directors in their 20s. The Backrooms movie and The Obsession.
I just saw the Backrooms movie. It was okay. It was alright.
But it was directed by a dude that created the Backrooms, or was one of them that created the Backrooms like mythology or whatever. When he was 15, and he's in his 20s, so it's impressive.
I will say, the thing that impressed me the most about the Backrooms movie was the acting in it was very good. Like, the people who played the main characters, which these guys aren't even, like, in the lore of the Backrooms, they were just added to the movie.
Yeah. It has very good actors, if I remember watching them.
They really went all out in the scenes they were in, so it was really cool to see. But, yeah, it was kind of a movie, like...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really interested too much in the Backrooms things, but like, I think it's cool to.
I will say, Jared watched it, and Jared liked it a lot.
Oh.
And he has no experience with it. He just saw it as like a horror movie type thing.
Oh, yeah. Which I think a lot of people are going to be exposed to.
It has a lot of positive reviews from critics. It has like 90% positive from critics.
Yeah. So. I think I'm more interested to see Obsession.
Yeah.
That seems like a more interesting, unique horror
Paul
film.
Russell said that was one of his favorite movies of all time right now.
Oh, wow. So yeah. I didn't spoil myself the endings, but I was reading that the critiques of Backrooms is it didn't have a complete ending.
Yeah.
And Obsession has like a really satisfying ending.
They kind of left it ambiguous with the Backrooms ending. So like up to your interpretation of what was going on.
And some people don't like. I guess in a movie setting, it really depends how you do it. In a show, I think you can do that, and it's a more impactful or stronger. Yeah. But if you have a movie that just ends ambiguously, then it's kind of like...
Because you don't know how to stomach it, really.
Yeah. Because a movie, I think for most cases, unless it's like labeling itself as a franchise, it should be complete in itself. Like, heck, even if you watch Star Wars, it still leaves stuff, but like if you watch New Hope, that's a complete film. We get a satisfying ending. And I guess even for the time, they didn't know if there would be a sequel, so they leave, like you can interpret.
A New Hope on its own is a complete story from start to finish, and then ends satisfyingly.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing is that these are directors in their young 20s. The guy that directed Obsession is, maybe you've seen him. He was really popular on like the Instagram. I think maybe he was. No, I don't think he was around in the Vine days. I think he's too young. I
think it's a good thing for these movies to be like these like horror type movies to be directed by these young people. Like kind of brushes against Hollywood's.
And they both stem from social media. That's where they got their.
It's interesting. I was talking to Andrew a bit about it, and he viewed it as a negative. He said this is terrible. You know, like he's not a fan of it. He also pointed to Iron Lung, which was directed by Markiplier, and he said the only reason I didn't like that is because I don't like Markiplier.
Did he even watch Iron Lung?
No, he didn't.
Well, then why his opinion's a little invalid then?
Yeah, I wasn't taking his opinion seriously. I was just humoring him in the conversation. It was. He talked about Backrooms, and he's like, I'm sick of these like major IPs being taken by people, and it's now shit. So
I don't know if Iron Lung is like a major IP.
I didn't.
Or even Backrooms. I can't. I've never played a Backrooms game.
I played for.
So 10, I don't know.
I played for 10 minutes, and then we switched games. But that's the only experience I have with Backrooms. But Andrew also said the Backrooms started from it was a copy pasta, and then they made it into a game. And then,
creepypasta.
Whatever.
Yeah. Which extent the guy, I don't know if he actually created it or not, but he popularized it when he was really young. I don't want to give him the credit whether he created it or not, because I don't know, but that's the guy who directed it. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, for Backrooms, I saw it too, like, you saw a lot of YouTubers promoting it. And like visiting the set and stuff, which I thought was funny.
The set design was cool because it didn't I think it was all practical effects. And
which is pretty easy to do practical. You just need
different rooms.
The worst liminal spaces, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing that you have younger directors coming in and doing these things. I watched an interview with.
A thing he said with Iron Lung is that he didn't like that it was directed, starred, and written by Markiplier. That was like, all right.
Well, what do you mean? That's how a lot of those old legendary directors started.
Clint Eastwood.
Well, he didn't write or direct.
Oh, I thought he did.
Old famous things. He did that after.
Oh, okay.
But Sergio, I can never say his first name. Something Leon, and when what got Clint Eastwood, his fame was he went to Europe and filmed something called spaghetti westerns.
Okay.
But I forgot this. Oh yeah, I saw an interview where Steven Spielberg, and he said that he was really happy that these young directors are really popular now, especially because Obsession had like a budget. Both of them had really low budgets. I think it was Backrooms that had a budget of like $1 million, and it's already made way more than what they spent. And same with Obsession. And Spielberg was like, "That's what like we used to do back in the day." So he's like, "I'm happy for them."
Good for Spielberg, man.
But yeah. I think the most recent Spielberg movie I watched was Schindler's List.
Oh, really?
Which is a great film.
You mean like recent in terms of what you watched recently?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've seen it a few months ago, I think, by now, but
not the ones that came out most recently.
No. Schindler's List came out
like in the
same time as Jurassic Park, because he was filming both films at the same time. There's a documentary about that. About how he had to flip from filming a movie about the Holocaust to dinosaurs. And that's also the movie that shaped why he didn't want to depict the Nazis in Indiana Jones coming forward, because he was like, that's too unserious.
Yeah,
that was his thinking process. But yeah, when I think like Spielberg is a legendary director, but when I think of his films, like he's not up there for me, and at least for my favorites. I mean, he did make some. When I watch Schindler's List again, I do think that's like a great film. Yeah. That's like a history piece.
There was a movie he directed that came out in 2018 that Andrew was talking about, but I can't remember what it was called. Andrew's raving about that movie. I looked it up and I was like, oh, this was directed by Steven Spielberg.
Oh.
And I didn't know what it was called. I forget what he told me it was.
Schindler's
List
like
something like the Overlord or something.
Oh.
I don't know. But
Jurassic Park 5 or 6. They made like 1,000 by this point.
Every time I think of Jurassic Park now, I think of the Simpsons scene when Skinner's like, I got an idea for a movie, and he says what it is, and then he calls it something completely different, and Apu gets really mad at him. I'm not going to do the accent,
but since the voice actor retired.
Yeah, out of respect for him.
Aziz.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I think of at least the directors I really like, Kubrick is my favorite. I think Kubrick is the best, in my opinion. I don't think he made a bad film. He was. I don't think he was particularly a good human being. He didn't treat his actors very good, besides Tom Cruise for some reason, but not everyone. I mean, he wasn't horrible to everyone. I think he was like a perfectionist, and he would go overboard for the sake of art. But I think all his films are great. Another one.
I don't know if I have a favorite director. I never really thought about it.
I have like favorites. I don't I think Kubrick is the best. But when we go to favorites, it's maybe the mood I'm picking. Because I mean, I love David Lynch, but David Lynch isn't the kind of director you could just watch one of his films casually, I'd say, because it's so much going on usually in his films, and it's very visual.
You have to be in the right mood for it.
Yeah, and if you watch it casually, you're not going to know what's going on because he's just that kind of guy.
What do you have there on your arm?
Friend writing stuff in my arm. Yeah, what was I going to say? Alfred Hitchcock is always put up there as like legendary director. I haven't seen a lot of his films. I mean, he's like 40s, not really 50s, 60s guy.
Yeah. Older gentleman.
Well, yeah, I guess even older. I think he directed Psycho.
Yeah, he did.
Which I haven't seen. I've seen Vertigo, which is a really good movie. That has the same main actor from It's a Wonderful Life. The same main character. But yeah, and also there's another film called like Nighthawk on Night Something, which is actually a really good movie where it's about a guy who is framed to think by criminals to think he's a private detective, but he isn't. Wow. And the private detectives think he's a criminal, and now he has to sort all this stuff out, and eventually he just becomes the undercover agent in the job. It's a really complex film for the 50s.
Yeah.
But I mean, when you go back to those old films, it's where the acting shines, and the story. Over like the practical effects or how the film looks. It's just the acting is so good and the story is convincing. I think a really good movie I saw that's always on Reels on Instagram for some reason, I think Grant sent me stuff from it too, is called 12 Angry Men, where it's just in a juror's, it's in a courtroom, and then juror's lounge where the jury's together, they meet to discuss whether the defendant's guilty or not. And it's just 12 men in this black and white film where they argue. So 11 of them at the start think the kid is guilty of murder, and only one of them doesn't. And the one guy convinces everyone else to, like, one by one to join his side that the defendant is not guilty. And then one guy that's stubborn at the end, like, breaks down. Yeah. And it's just a really acting-based film. Really good.
Kind of like that, what you described reminds me of A Few Good Men a little bit.
Yeah, A Few Good Men is a good movie. Like, those films can be a play.
Yeah. I like Rob Reiner a lot, actually, if we're talking about directors. He just popped into my mind.
Oh, yeah, he's a legendary director.
It's funny, because Princess Bride played... Oh, we could talk about that a little bit, the cabin trip. Princess Bride played at the cabin trip, and I didn't watch most of the movie, but I came up during Holden Just Killed a Fly.
I don't think I hit him.
Oh, alright. Yeah. Holden Just Scared a Fly.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was just playing in the living room, and everyone was doing their own things while it was playing, and I go up to the living room and nobody's there, and it's during Magic Alex, which is the character played by Billy Crystal, which is one of my favorite scenes in the movie. So I was like, you know what, I'll watch the rest of the movie. So I sat down and watched the rest of the movie, and Nate was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm watching The Princess Bride.
It's a great movie. I've probably seen that movie a lot.
Yeah.
It always playing when I was a kid. I think one of my sisters loved that movie.
It was Ian that came up, and he was like, what are you doing? But Ian had never seen The Princess Bride. I was like, really? And then Connor was like, "You never seen The Princess Bride?" He's like, "This scene's great." And he said the scene that was happening. I forget what it was. Like, he said the line, and then he said the line, and he was like, "No way."
No way.
But it was pretty funny. But yeah, we went on a cabin trip. It was after the recording of the last podcast, but before of the uploading of the last podcast.
We mentioned it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you said it.
Yeah. So, did you have a good time on the cabin trip from your personal experience? Just like from your perspective.
It's just fun.
The way I worded it.
Yeah, I enjoyed myself. I'm trying to think. It was really broken down into 2 days. The full day, I think, was like the actual full day we stayed was Saturday. Yeah. I think it was interesting because I realized, I think even during that day, I realized it's like I spent most of my day just fishing.
Yeah.
And I woke up, I got like no sleep. I think it's also a psychological thing when people go to like a new place, you can't sleep very good. Sure. So when I came back home after, I just like, I couldn't stay up. I just knocked myself out.
Did you also fall asleep when we got back?
No, I stayed up for a bit. I like forced I don't know why. I like forced myself to stay up and like was doing some things, and then I like dropped.
When we got home, I took a dookie and went to bed.
Yeah.
Like going on long trips after that, I get really tired. That like when we're leaving, it was a mess last year. Last year I was sick, but
yeah. I like now I like when they're different, and this one was really different, so I actually really enjoyed it because I haven't been fishing for years.
Plus cooking dinner, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I was surprised that you of all people fished the most. I expected it to be like a Grant or Andrew to fish.
I was just doing so well, so I kept fishing.
Sure. Well, Grant came up to me and he said, when we talked about your success of fishing, he was like, yeah, Holden, out of all people, he was the least person I expected to fish. And then he was like, well, maybe other than you, to me.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, that's fair.
Insult to both of us.
No, I didn't. I didn't take it as an insult because it was the truth. I didn't fish at all when I was there.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever, I mean, again, I used to fish as a kid, but yeah, I mean, well, now we live somewhere. Well, technically, people go fishing by the bridge on Scioto, which is next to the Ohio State basketball stadium. I don't know if that's legal, or I wouldn't even fish there.
Illegal.
There's like mutant fish, but
what does that even mean? Like the mutant fish from what's it called? What was that? Oh fuck, I forget. It's from a cartoon.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It probably is.
But speaking just on that really quick. Okay. Do you know The Last Ronin? Do you know that?
I think
comic series. They're making a game of that, and like a smash and fighting game, which I think will be awesome.
Nice. Yeah, but the person I least expected to fish was when I was talking to Grant. I was like, probably Grayson is what I said, but I think he fished a good amount as well.
No.
Oh, he didn't?
He didn't fish at all, if I recall. I think the only people who fished was Spencer, Paul, Andrew.
Connor did a little bit.
Connor and I, yeah. I don't think Grant
really
even
I think Grant
actually fished. He was too busy drawing all the things. And then when I was fishing, he was more just like with me because he was like, I kept telling him take a picture, and he's like, "You want a picture every time?" But yeah, and then he wrote the 6-7 fish. He wrote that.
That's very topical.
But
tomorrow is 6-7.
Oh yeah. Even though I feel like the joke, it's kind of like died out by now. It's on its last limbs.
Not to Ray, dude. Ray Narvaez Jr. He has done this notoriously throughout his years of content creation. Every time there's a new meme, he drags it into the ground. Like in 2012, it was YOLO, and that was a dead meme at that time.
Yeah.
But he just likes to.
I think he was still saying that in like recent live streams that I've seen.
There's no way, because
years ago
he hates YOLO now. Like it gets to a point where he uses a phrase so often that he hates it.
He gets mad at himself.
Yeah, well, he does it to himself. Okay. And Michael would make fun of him, saying, "Well, you do it to yourself, Ray." I was like, yeah.
But
so 6-7's probably dead, basically.
I think it's close.
But back to the cabin. I think I spent, even though there was 13 people at the cabin, I think I spent 75% of the trip by myself. because I was just kind of chilling and thinking about stuff.
For me, it's probably 50%, just because I wasn't like fishing with anybody.
Yeah.
So half of the time, and when I got tired when everyone was not awake, because Grayson went to bed. Grayson kind of went to bed at the same time I went to bed, and that was when Paul collapsed himself because he was. I think he smoked.
He did, and he threw up on the. I think 3 people threw up. It was him the second day, Grant Ian the first day is what I heard. But so the first day I went to bed the earliest. I think I went to bed at 11, and everyone else stayed up. I don't know how late, but I felt bad for Paul, Nate, and Spencer because I only saw them a little bit because they got there at 8. They got there pretty late. Yeah. And Paul, the next morning when I woke up, he was like, "Oh, and I barely got to see you last night." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I went to bed early." Okay. And then Spencer was like, "I thought I went to bed early," and he was like, "I went to bed at 12." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess I beat you by an hour."
Yeah. Spencer went to bed really early. I don't know when I went to bed. I realized one thing, like, when I was thinking of the first night was literally just everyone talking about, at least as far as I can remember, talking about the trip to there, and then Jared showing us recordings of the day that just happened, which now I think in retrospect is, like, redundant.
Waste of time while you're there.
Yeah.
Do it afterwards, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, I think I enjoyed the second day
the most. Yeah, me too. I think
more. It was more relaxing. I guess it was really a full day. I got up at like 7 or something.
Even with the second day, I still went to bed. I like, it was like 2:00 p.m. and I went to bed for like a couple hours, and I woke up and they were like, "Well, we gotta take a picture." That's when I woke up.
Okay.
And I was like, "God damn it. I guess that's fine." And I didn't want to take my shirt off because I was so tired. And I was cold, kind of cold. It was like windy, and I just got out of bed, so I kind of want to keep my shirt on. We had, that sounds weird out of context. We had 2 pictures, 2 group pictures, and Aiden wanted us to pose with our shirts on and with our shirts off for the other picture, and I just kept my shirt on for both. Spencer put his shirt off for the one we had our shirts on, and then he took it off for put a shirt on for the ones that everyone had their shirt off for. He was doing the opposite. And my favorite pose from looking at that picture is Ian in the second picture because he's facing the complete opposite way.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
I only liked the photo because it makes me look tall. Because the person I'm next to is really short.
Yeah, there you go.
And the way Connor's standing, it makes it seem like I'm his height.
Yeah.
So it makes me look tall.
You and Connor have a lot of pictures together where it's usually... It can go either way. Like,
yeah, I think he's taller than me.
He is, but it's so funny because there's a lot of pictures like from when we went to Troy, the Strawberry Festival. Mm-hmm. Like he like slouches in some of them, and it looks like you're like 2 inches taller than him.
Yeah, so that helps me out. I'll just show people pictures. I'm 6 foot, whatever.
Connor, that turd is in Key West right now, and like we were supposed to do the Troy Strawberry Festival this year as well, and he ruined our 5-year streak.
Well, I was thinking we still could have done it because of Nate. Yeah, Nate did offer, but I thought about it too late. I was like,
I told Nate that we weren't going.
Oh, okay.
Because he texted me about it. He was like, "What time are you guys going?" I said, I don't really feel like it. Because honestly, like, I don't know.
But yeah,
I wasn't feeling it after Connor said he couldn't.
Yeah, that guy. But but I mean, Key West is nice. I've been there before.
Yeah, I haven't.
It's very expensive.
Yeah,
it's a unique part of the United States. It's very different just because it's on this little island connected by this highway bridge, and you're really close to Cuba technically. So yeah, it's a very unique part of our country.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I was a bit worried with the cabin trip because I had a lot of insecurities with the place I picked before we got there. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be a good place. I think everyone's gonna hate it. I was having a lot of like those thoughts. And when we got there, people seemed to enjoy themselves, so I kind of like relaxed a little bit. Maybe that's why I went to bed a lot. I was relaxing, knowing that they're having fun.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't ever think. I don't think they're too hard to please.
No, but it was also the first place I ever booked on Airbnb ever, so I was just thinking about that too.
Yeah, and everything went smoothly.
Yeah, I guess. One bad mishap happened, but...
Yeah, well, a few, actually.
What were the others?
Ian popped a hole in one of the chairs.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah.
Okay.
He bought the thing. Oh, you weren't outside.
We talked about it. I forget who I was with. Maybe it was Aiden or Andrew.
But I was going to say you were with Ian. So he's like, yeah, I wonder who did that.
No, they pointed it out to me. They were like, there's a hole in that chair. Was that like that normally? I was like...
Oh, I don't think they were there either. So you were with the worst people. Mm-hmm. I think it was Paul Russell, Ian. I was right next to him, Connor.
Yeah,
this is hilarious because Ian was like, we need to stay with, like, not hit the chairs, because he was using the slingshot thing. He was like, we need to not hit the chairs. He hits the chair, but he hits the side armchair and it doesn't do anything to the chair. So he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, I'm going to try and hit the can. And he hits it and puts a hole right through the middle one. And you saw, like, the red, because I was fishing, so you saw, like, the little red pieces next to the, what would you call that? Lake? Pond?
It was like a pond. Yeah.
But yeah, and maybe there's others we don't know about, but other things. But
the other mishap happened at the end of the night. It was this is how I'll start the story, and then we'll get down to the situation that happened. So I'm downstairs with Paul and Grant Aiden, and Paul goes to, and he's like, Owen, I want to kind of sleep here tonight because this blanket's really comfortable. Can you get my pillows from upstairs? I was like, I got you. So I go upstairs. Connor's like goofing off with Ian, doing some dumb shit. Connor was on his biggest misbehaving from 10 o'clock to 3 in the morning. He fell asleep playing Mario Party, and then after he woke up, something snapped in him. He became a demon. And so I go upstairs, I get Paul's pillows, and Connor's like, hey, you could just toss those down to me. I'm like, all right. And I tossed, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made. So I tossed them down to Connor. He goes downstairs, and I hear ruckus going on. I'm talking to Ian for like 3 minutes. We're just talking about some random stuff. And then I'm like, okay, it's getting pretty loud down there. We're going to go see what's going on. And I take 2 steps down the stairs, and I hear... Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck's happening? And then Grant doesn't help at all. He's laughing the entire time. I'm like, explain what happened. And Grant's just dying. And so I learned later that Connor and Paul were hitting each other. So Paul's sitting on the couch, and Connor comes downstairs with his 2 pillows and starts beating him with them. And then Paul gets up and starts attacking him. And then Connor says, wait, careful, we can't hit this glass off the table. So he does what Ian did with the chair.
Yeah. So don't say that before you do something.
And then I still don't know who knocked over the glass. Connor says it wasn't him, but everyone else says it was Connor. So
when I heard, because I was in my bedroom and I heard like it sounded like when you hear a sound bite in the movie of glass breaking or like the Lego break, and the only voices I hear Paul, Connor, and Andrew. And the way you just heard it, you would think Andrew did it just because Andrew's like, oh, you did this, man, and then it's Paul that like blames him. Paul's like, well, Andrew, if you weren't doing that, like that wouldn't have happened.
So I heard
he's like, I didn't do it. It's not me.
I heard that Andrew was like backing Connor up.
The way the conversation was, it made it seem like Andrew did it, and Connor was just like, dude, I didn't even do it. That wasn't me.
I started being on Connor's side when Grant was like giving me half sentences of saying, yeah, but doing this. Like Andrew's like, we gotta blame Connor, and then Grant's like, yeah, but if he did this, and he starts laughing.
But Grant was gone.
Yeah,
but
Grant was sober, dude.
Yeah,
it was so bad. And the most drunk person that was downstairs had nothing to do with anything going on. It was Aiden, like, because he was trying to sleep, and he drank a lot.
Yeah, at that time, I was too sober to enjoy anything at that point. I was going to I went out to get the bathroom, and I told him I was like to like a Lego break or something, and Grant was like laughing. He was like, where you go to Holden or something. And at that point, I was more irritated. I was like, I want to fucking sleep. But
And then after that, Connor had mentioned that his bed was next to Jared's. He said he kept pulling on Jared's leg, and Jared's like, "If you don't fucking stop, I'm gonna do like this, and this."
Oh, yeah.
And then Connor's like, "I'm gonna go mess with him some more." I was like, "Please just fucking leave people alone." And then he started playing with his dumb Bluetooth, not even his Ian's speaker that he kept messing with.
Yeah, I will say, surprisingly, I think this was the loudest cabin trip, just because the way the place
it felt more small.
Yeah, the way the place is set up, there isn't a lot of board or walls to keep it quiet. The first one, it was more, the first cabin
spread out.
Yeah, but I had my own bedroom right next to the bunk buddies, and it was still somehow quieter than
being downstairs.
Yeah, downstairs where my bedroom was still far from everyone, but like.
And then in the second one, we just were all like, it's kind of a tall building, so like...
Yeah. Second one was actually really nice because I think I went to bed early the first night.
Yeah.
So I was upstairs, so when they even used the speaker thing, I didn't even hear it. Yeah. And the person that was more affected was Jared and Paul Russell.
Because they were right there.
Yeah, so... that's my only...
And I wake up for this most recent one, like... at like I think 7 or 8 or something like that, because we're getting ready to go, and I wake up and Connor and a few other people are asleep, and I'm like, okay, those are the only people that are asleep. And then like 20 minutes later, the Bluetooth speaker starts going very loud, and I go upstairs, and sure enough, Connor's on this old doodle.
Yeah.
And I go up and I rip his phone out of his hand, and Jared starts cackling, and I walk downstairs with it, and that's how I got Connor out of bed. But that little bitch, dude. Like, he was such a turd. I say from 10 to 4, but it's really like 10 to when we woke up. Like, he was still on his behavior.
Yeah.
Misbehaving.
I think from the morning to pre-poker, it was kind of a nice, peaceful day. I don't know why. At least me.
I think the poker was a vibe because I was spectating.
I mean, I don't like poker at all, but
neither.
They're just yelling, and I don't. Yeah. And I would say I don't know. As I'm getting older, to me, a vacation is kind of detoxing, relaxing, quiet. You know.
That is because you're getting older.
Peaceful. It's beating me up the.
I don't know.
Cabin trip.
It's the fact that like. I brought this up to Ian the other day. I was like, he was like, "Do you think why do we do this?" And he was like saying like random lyrics to a song like "fucking cum" or whatever. And he was like, "Why do we do this?" I was like, "It's the company we're around that brings it out in us." I think
he's the one who brought porn to the cabin.
Well, he bought it.
Yeah.
But no, I think all the shenanigans that happen, like it just since we're with this group that we've been with since high school, we go back to our high school roots of misbehaving and stuff. I think that's what most people do anyway. Like obviously you and other people's have like grown up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean I put lotion on the
I know
porno,
saw that.
But no one like my joke failed because I was setting up the joke for hide and go seek and it never happened. So instead I just got yelled at because they're like, you need to throw that away.
It backfired a little.
I was like, why is this the worst thing that happened at the cabin?
It's the worst thing that you did.
Yeah, it is the worst thing I did. But I was when they busted out the porn and started playing that, I was more like, oh, it's gonna be that. It at least got way better. I had a bad beginning. I wasn't
really offended by the porn. I just was like, okay.
I wasn't. I mean,
it was just like
watch porn whenever you want. I think in a group setting it's weird.
I thought the reasoning was weird because Ian was like, dude, we're putting this on for when Connor and Grant show up. I was like, okay. And then sure enough, when Grant gets there, he's like, oh my.
Me and Grant, I went outside with Grant, and Grant was like, yeah, I don't really want to watch that. I was like, yeah.
That's fair.
That's a good statement.
Why the hell did Ian buy that, dude?
I don't know. I don't even know why they went there.
Oh, he bought it for Paul's birthday. So
right.
I guess that's Paul's now.
Well, I threw away the case.
Okay.
I think he has the CD. I don't know if he threw away that.
Yeah.
The best thing about the cabin is I found Buddha where I found Buddha upstairs, so
Nice.
now I have Buddha in my car.
Nice work.
But yeah, I found a little Buddha chain thing in the attic. I'm surprised no one found it the first night because I found it the second day.
I never really went up there.
I was just up there and I saw it. It was by Jared's bed, and I grabbed it. And I was like, "Is this anybody's? Like, who would wear a Buddha?" The only person I thought was like maybe Spencer. And he was like, "That's not mine, bro." So I was like, "All right."
I like to imagine you only asked Spencer. Like it could be like Ian's or something.
Yeah, I asked everyone, but yeah, I was like, that was the only person that came to mind for some reason. I was like, who would wear a Buddha?
Dude, Spencer was the biggest like conflict I had during the cabin, which is this is really light, was with Spencer, and he kept trying to gaslight me into thinking that he wears glasses normally. And I was like, you don't wear glasses. He had glasses on, and I was like, whose are those? He was like, those are mine, man. And I was like, those are not yours. And I was like, they gotta be fake, let me see. Sure enough, they're prescription. And I was like, what the heck? You don't wear glasses? He's like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do. That's funny. But yeah, I was surprised. I just thought this was funny. Grayson kept referencing he's voiced by Benny from New Vegas, voiced by our departed Matthew Perry. He kept voicing him where like, you and me are gonna swing. Whoa, you're platinum, pussycat. Like, he kept voicing that from the prank calls we would watch years ago, and I was dying laughing. I was like, why do you remember that now? Why are you voicing it? But
Grayson's the voice guy.
yeah, that was funny. But yeah, I enjoy all of them. I'm trying to. The first one, yeah, I think the first one I definitely drank the most because I don't even remember it. I just remember Nate.
For me, the second one was the one I drank the most. But
Yeah, second one I maybe didn't drink at all, at all. And then this one I only drank one night.
a little bit.
And then I drank the second throughout the day, but all we had was sugary drinks, so it got me more sick.
I had like 7 of those Mountain Dews, but it didn't really affect me at all.
They have 0 sugar.
Yeah.
Also, you
That's
drink
true.
that soda stuff all the time, so I think your body's used to it.
Maybe.
It's like tolerance. But yeah, like the actual, if you drink it like the Angry Orchards that have a lot of sugar in them, those.
I had a few. I helped.
Sick.
I like to imagine I helped Aiden with the wild turkey. I had a few of those.
Yeah, those are fine
Yeah.
too. I don't think they have a lot of sugar, but yeah, any alcohol with a lot of sugar is gonna make you sick. But yeah, also I'm not used to, I only drink wine occasionally, so the my body's not used to alcohol and the sugar, so I get really sick from it.
Yeah, so I got to experience drunk Ian a little bit because once again I went to bed early the first night. So it was like 10 o'clock, and I think you've probably heard this before. I probably mentioned this already. It was the box of the chips, like all the chips.
Yeah.
And Ian picks up the Funyuns. He's like, dude, why are these called Funyuns, man? They're not even fun. And then he put them back in, like, angrily. And then people were trying to encourage him, like Spencer. He was like, dude, yeah, I don't know why they call them Funyuns.
Cool.
So
I remember, I think it was Paul Russell, where one of you guys took the box that was still full of chips and put it in the trash with all the cardboard boxes. And Paul Russell was like, that's still full of chips. Who threw that away?
oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I was dying.
I mentioned the Funyun story to Ian the next day, and he's like, "Dude, no way I said that." And I was like, that's what
he
said.
He chugged that the Australian beer, Foster's.
Oh yeah, Paul.
Green can. Paul didn't drink
No,
his.
he's an idiot. He was like, I'm gonna drink all this right now. He took a sip. He was like, I can't anymore. I can't. And then he put it on the table. It was like 3/4 still full. I was like, God damn, dude.
Paul's hilarious.
I was like, Paul, you gotta pour that out. He's like, all right.
Paul's still the kind of person, like, even if while he's insulting me or like while he's angry, you just can't help but like laugh. Yeah. I don't know. He's a funny guy.
I don't know if I told you this either, but so Paul was like the dictator during the poker games.
Yeah,
obviously. But after the poker games, like a good hour after, I'd say, I had like 4 s'mores because I was just making s'mores. I was like, I bought these, might as well, or I bought half of them. And after my final s'more, Paul comes out and was like, dude, Owen, come here. I was like, what? And then I go in and he's like, you gotta get people from Mario Party, man. Yeah. And I was like, do I? I was like, why can't you? He's like, well, I did everything for the poker game, so you need to do this for me. So I go out and he's like, go out and tell Connor to come in for the for Mario Party. I was like, okay. So I go out and it's Ian and Jared with the video camera, and Connor's going around on the bike playing "A Bird Is the Word" really loud on the speaker, so you can hear it from across the pond. And it was a funny video or whatever. And I kept encouraging them instead of trying to get them to play Mario Party. I was like, yeah, go around and do it again. Like, so I was kind of being like silly.
That's funny because he was in there trying, because he was telling us like, we need to play Mario Party. I was getting more and more tired.
Yeah. Spencer used your DS.
Yeah, I asked Spencer about. At first, we asked like about hide and go seek and stuff because I was like, I knew I was getting more and more tired, so it's either I was gonna sleep or do that. And I asked him, he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then I don't think Paul was happy because Paul was like, no one wants to do that. So I was like, okay, it's not gonna happen probably. But yeah,
I wish I was in the room for that instead of going out and encouraging Connor to go across the pond. But it's because I would have honestly, even though we brought the DSs out, I'd rather played hide and seek because we just broke another tradition. We had hide and seek at every cabin trip except for that.
Yeah, breaking traditions. Yeah. But I actually Mario Party. I'd rather we played Mario Party and hide and seek and no poker. But
no, me too. I don't even know why they thought poker was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's like Monopoly. Poker's like Monopoly. It's just going to go on and on and on.
And everyone gets angry. Yeah. It's like they're just losing their minds over, I don't know, what was it, $10 or something?
Nate was pissed because Aiden was really drunk and brought up a suggestion. This is what I heard. I didn't see it actually happen. But Aiden was like, dude, what if we just played for fun? And like, we don't have to do anything. We'll just have Nate win and that's fun. And Nate was like, I'm getting my money. So that's how that went.
That's funny. To me, a game is flawed when Nate wins. Trivial Pursuit, this, something's rigged there.
And Aiden came down to me when he told me about that, and he's like, dude, I'm just trying to keep the peace. That's all I am.
I think he did a very good job. They were about to kill each other.
No, yeah, the only 3 people that were in for poker was Aiden, Nate, and Ian at the end.
Yeah.
And because Grant was, I don't know, Grant's an idiot. Grant got mad, but he volunteered to go in for Paul Russell's hand. He was getting mad at them, and I was like, why would you go in?
What we heard is like, so I think, I don't know, I just looked over at the aftermath, but I think Nate was sitting next to Grant.
Yeah.
And all I hear is like, and Nate go, but like, fucking stop it, Grant! And Grant's like walking, you can tell Grant's pissed because he's like red. And like Nate's mad and he's red. And you just look over and like Grant's walking away. I was like, what the heck is going on?
Fucking stop.
And I think it's funny, the more peaceful, least violent core was just watching Jared brutalize people on Mortal Kombat.
I saw that in the corner.
That means violent video games are more peaceful than poker, if you think about it.
I was kind of in between. I was watching that and poker, but I was kind of messing with Ian and Aiden the whole time because I was next to them. So I was like, oh, yeah, do this. I was like, are you going to stay? And Aiden's like, I don't fucking know, man. And then I told Aiden instead of using a black chip to put in, I was like, use an Oreo. So he put in an Oreo, and everyone was like, put that back.
That's funny. Whoever got the Oreos, I think it was me and someone else, like, demolished it.
I made Connor upset because I was like, hey, Connor, Holden's eating your snacks. Like, what?
It was his. I had the hunch because I was like, he always gets these, but maybe it's just whatever.
He didn't get, I think he got 2 Oreos out of that.
Yeah, I ate like a line. And then I think Grant took like a lot. And then I think Grayson took some, and I forget who it was. It was either Grayson or Grant.
I had a couple, I think.
Okay. Was it you or Grant where I was like, maybe we should save some?
No, that was Grant. Okay.
Grant was like, don't worry about it. We can eat how many we want. And I was like, all right.
That's fair. I would have said the same thing. I was eating those. Grant, Aiden, and I were splitting a bag of those like buffalo pretzel things. Those are pretty good. And yeah, so I was kind of like just a floater between poker and Mortal Kombat, so I was enjoying both parties. I was enjoying poker's enjoyable when you're watching people get mad at each other and you're not involved in it.
Yeah. I'm too peaceful, so to me, when other people are stressed out and angry, it stresses me out of it.
It's so funny too because Paul lost first. Which is
that
the most,
he's yelling the entire time?
Interesting thing. Yeah, because Gosu lost first, and he was like the dick. He was like, okay, now that I'm out, I'm the banker. So I was like, oh my god, here we go. That's what I knew it was gonna devolve.
He it started angry because when he was trying to get people to play, he was mad at Ian. He was like,
yes,
we need to go and play.
I was in the room for that. I was in the room. This was right after the picture, or maybe a couple hours after. It was after we played cornhole. At least I did really. I went 6-2 in cornhole.
I get to watch you win. Yeah,
that was pretty good. But after cornhole, I go back in with Paul and Spencer, and Paul's like, you got to help me set up these poker chips. So I help him. I was like, how many chips per thing? He's like, just do 5 green, 5, all that. And I was like, okay. So I set up the chips. That's all I did with the poker. And then Paul's like, dude, I'm getting pissed at Paul starts ranting to me about it. He's like, I'm getting pissed at everyone. They're going to go do this and play with the dirt bike instead of playing poker with us. I was like, I don't want to play poker. He's like, no, I know you're not playing poker. But I'm talking about Ian, Paul, those guys. Aiden. He was getting mad. And I was like, chill. And then Ian comes in, he's like, what's going on, brah? And he's like, Ian. That's when he starts flipping out at Ian.
I knew Paul was out of it too, because when I was going downstairs to go to the bathroom when Jared was playing Mortal Kombat, Paul just says passively, he goes, you worked at a casino, I'm going to work at a casino. And I was like, alright. I was like, good for you.
He's probably drunk.
Yeah. I was like, that's funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I didn't get, I'm just happy that I enjoyed watching that. I'm glad I didn't get emotional about that like everybody else did. Everybody else, meaning Grant and
all of them.
Yeah. Grayson even got upset, and Grayson wasn't involved either.
Yeah, I think he was mad that they were spending all the time on that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was upset about that as well.
Yeah, and he wanted...
We spent 3 hours watching poker.
Yeah. But he got his highlight. He got to be Jesus on a bike. He wiped out of me.
We spent 30 minutes waiting for that.
Yeah.
Setting up his costume.
But that was fun. Andrew and I were fishing. We just see him from an angle fall, and Andrew goes, "Of course that happened, bro." I was laughing. But yeah. Of all the cabin trips, I'm trying to think of the individual
experiences.
Yeah, marks and stories. The first one,
I remember a lot from the first one.
First one was very unique.
Because it was the first one.
I think it'll always be a special place. Yeah, in my
heart. Aiden talked about going back to that cabin in particular, which I'd be down to do.
Yeah, I'm not against that. We'd have to have Tanner and David then. We'd have to keep the original core intact.
Well, here's the question. Do we add Spencer, Paul, and Grant then? Because they weren't there for the original.
Oh, oops. They can sleep outside, so we have an originality.
No, that the first cabin is the only cabin trip I didn't sleep in a bed for. I slept on the couch.
Oh, I remember that, yeah. I got my own bed because I left with Aiden. Yeah. I remember.
I went with Connor, Andrew, Grayson, and Ian, I think.
Yeah.
That was a squad.
Which was a big mistake.
We were in the Tahoe, so that was fun.
I remember when we pulled up, David was first, and David was like, I came early so I could get my own bed.
Did we joke about that on the way to this one?
Yeah.
We were like, oh, Aiden's going to be a new David now because he's going to be there before us, buddy. Sure enough, Aiden got there before us because we had to turn around.
But they went to the wrong door. It was their own undoing.
So we got a story for the audience. We experienced this. So on the way up, it was us two and Andrew and Paul Russell in the back seat. And Ian gives me a call when we're close to the cabin. I'm like, what's up, Ian? He's like, hey, is that your car in front of us? And then I look behind me and it's a red truck. And I was like, sure enough, it's Ian.
It's your car? Meaning your car?
He thought it was me. That's what he told me. He was like, oh, and you're driving, right?
It's the same car.
I was like, no, Holden's driving. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he's like, yeah, I'm waving out the window. Paul and I are waving out the window at Ian. And then Paul goes, I'm going to take a chicken nugget and throw it out the window.
Yeah.
Because we had a bucket of 50 nuggets from Wendy's. So Paul takes a chicken nugget, sticks his head out the window, and his glasses fly off. And then we have to go, and we're like, oh, fuck. So, and Ian's like, what just happened? We're like, well, Paul's glasses flew out the window, and those were his prescription ones, and the only ones he has. So, we pull over at was it a BP or something?
Yeah.
And Ian's like, you know what, I gotta pee, so I'm gonna go as well. So they show up at the BP, and we turn around and go find his glasses. So that's why Aiden beat us to the cabin. He was there like 10 minutes. But also another reason is I had to shit really fucking bad. So it was like a ghost town. It was like an old western ghost town that we got into. It was the actual it was the actual town of where the cabin was, except a little bit outside. Every place was closed.
Due to construction.
Yeah. Due to it being an old western town.
Yeah, an old western town.
And
even though we went east.
And north.
Yeah.
No, it's funny too because Ian the other day was like, man, we were just south of the border. I was like, no, we weren't. It was north. Because I think I asked Ian when was the last time you were below Tennessee? He was like, we were just south of the border. It's like, we were not south of the border. We were just south of the But, so yeah, I had to shit really bad, and I was squirming for like an hour or so in the car. And Andrew was like, dude, he's giving me, or it was Paul. He's giving me bad vibes.
I'm picking up bad vibrations. That's what he's saying. But
the mountain boys.
Yeah, I remember we parked and you ran.
Yeah.
And this is when Aiden called when we were driving across the bank where we saw the porta potty. Paul kept saying, "That's so clutch, bro. The porta potties." So
I turned the corner and 2 porta potties. Like it was like heaven was shining down upon me. I was like, "Yes, dude!" And both of them were free. So and they were both clean as well. Actually, I don't know about the other ones. I was only in one.
No,
but it was clean.
But
until I got there.
Yeah, Aiden called us and he was like. We don't want the code, so just the code. And he was like, I think Andrew was like, old Owen only has the code, bro. We're gone. Like,
it's funny that you went to that because right after that, I get 2 calls on the porta potty from Aiden and Ian, and I didn't answer either. I couldn't answer because we didn't have a service.
Yeah.
And then when I get back to the car, Paul was like, "What would you said to them if you would have had service?" I was like, "I'm not giving them the code."
Yeah. He was like, I forget.
He was like,
said
I love that.
If you wanted the code, you should have asked before we had no service. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, just give us the code. And then
it's funny too because I think the code died with me. I think I gave you the code as well.
Yeah, I've used the code once.
The last
and then the door was unlocked the entire way.
It was. I had to lock it at the end, but it was left unlocked after I opened it the first time.
Oh, gotcha. Because I had to put it in because when I went to get out my stuff and everyone was inside, it was locked again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last 4 digits. I think I mentioned this in the last podcast. The last 4 digits of my phone number.
So if they would have just listened, even though it came out after, right?
Yeah, it came out after. They wouldn't know. I planned it to be released after.
But yeah, that's the mystery. But all in all, it was a good
it was fun
trip. I'm interested. Well, next year maybe I may not even be able to go.
No, we could plan it out to be like early May or something.
Yeah, it will have to.
Or like maybe even in during spring break or something.
Depend. Yeah.
Very early.
But the what was I gonna say? Do you have a clue now on what your favorite cabin was since we've had 3?
The first one I think still is my favorite.
One. All right. First one's good.
I said this downstairs. The last thing I was talking to Aiden and Grant about before I went to bed. I was like, I liked the first trip a lot, but I like the people in this one the most, I think is what I said. I like the people here. And then Aiden was like, well, I like the people in the other 2. I was like, no, I just mean more so that Grant was here. Grant wasn't on the first 2, and I liked having his company as well. And also the fact that we're all from the same high school. I think that was a kind of cool little feature. Because Tanner and David didn't go to our high school, but they were there on the first 2.
Yeah. I think the second one's a close contender.
Really?
With the first one. I mean...
Third one's number 3 for you?
Yeah, I don't know. The third one has my favorite, what is the word? Like action, or one of my favorite things I'm doing by myself.
Fishing,
yeah. And then the second probably has my favorite like group.
It had a cool little room, like that downstairs with the
ping pong. Yeah, that was awesome. And we had all this. I remember playing the ping pong or table tennis,
whatever you call it.
And that was fun. And we had the tournament, the beer pong tournament.
Right.
That was actually pretty fun.
We should have brought that. We were talking about that too, because they actually had the tables for beer pong in the little room.
Yeah.
But we also had solo cups. But Spencer was talking about, he was like, dude, they just went to the store. They got to get balls. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, pong balls. I was like, oh yeah, if they get pong balls, we'd be able to do beer pong.
Yeah.
But we never told them to do that.
And maybe with behavior, the first two were good too, because the first two had cameras. They had cameras outside, so I remember I think it was the first one we were like really cautious because we're like, I think it's David or something. It's like, don't piss outside, you're gonna get in trouble. There's a camera.
And Connor peed outside like 5 times of the last cabin trip.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also because you also have Aiden. He was the person who booked both of the first cabins, so he had a reputation at stake that he was very adamant on keeping good. Whereas me, I didn't really have one, so I didn't really care as much, I don't think.
Yeah, even though I was still, cautious. If I remember, I don't think it was the second one. The first one, there was something they were doing that could have gotten themselves in trouble, but I can't remember what it was.
The only thing I can remember that we did at the first one was break the hanger.
Oh yeah, we broke every hanger. But there were these plastic.
And it was Jared's stupid idea. He was like, let's beat each other with these.
Yeah, which turned out us just beating him, right? Or Connor.
We beat him and Nate and Connor.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Connor probably.
Yeah, because we kicked his ass. Ow! Yeah. He was red. Yeah. We were beating. But yeah, and that the first one I really liked too, because we had the log pillows, so we made this guy, and then
what was his name? The Charlie Man.
No, yeah,
I think that's his name.
Something like that. And hide and go seek was actually really fun because it wasn't a big cabin, so it was the
basement area and then the little upstairs.
I'm pretty sure we played hide and go seek tag.
I liked the upstairs of the first one the most because of the deck it had. It had a deck.
Oh outside. Yeah, that's where the video is from.
And I locked Connor outside and he was pissed.
Yeah. And I love the hide and go seek tag because I remember when we went in the bunk room, that's where everyone's hiding and that's when everyone's scurrying around. I think that's where the hangers were also involved. They were hitting Connor. But
we gotta do hide and seek at the next one.
Yeah,
that's a missed opportunity from this year.
Yeah, I think the biggest misstep I told Jared was the first night we're like, nah, let's wait the second night. I think we should have just did it the first night.
Yeah.
To get it over.
Yeah, if you guys woke me up, I would have been down for that.
Yeah, the second night it was we waited too long and
poker overtook it, like you said. Poker was the replacement for it.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah, and I don't like poker. That's where we divide. I think that's where we divide big on some people in the group because I don't like golf or poker, and that's
same group. Well, Connor's an idiot too because with the poker, he was so for it as well. He was like, I can't wait to play poker. And then he did what every person does when they play Monopoly when they're excited.
Yeah.
He went bankrupt. Instantly by choice. He was like, I can't play this anymore. He was the second person to lose.
That's funny.
I kept making fun of him. I was like, yeah, sure, it was on purpose, Connor. He's like, it was on purpose.
That's funny. But yeah, I just don't get the
gravitas of it.
Yeah, it's just not that fun. You're spending money. I don't know. I don't like to spend money. I'm
gambling.
Stingy.
Yeah,
and it's not really rewarding. It's not a fun game.
I think Nate did get the money actually because I looked at Venmo the other day and it said Paul paid Nate.
That's good. So. But this reminded me, Andrew. I didn't even know we were supposed to pay for the pizza. You probably didn't have to because you booked the thing. So I'm assuming pizza? They spared you.
Oh,
the pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, that night, I was just going to the fridge to get something, and Andrew's like, "Hey, you don't have to worry about the pizza. Since you drove, I got you."
Oh, okay.
I was like, "Thank you." But I wonder if he just said that or actually paid. It's funny either way.
He didn't even say anything to me about it, so
I'm assuming that you booked it, so they're probably like, yeah.
Fair enough.
I don't know if we did the same with Aiden. Well, the second one was a whole debacle. The first one was...
The second one, James showed up without paying, and then you were the most upset about that, because you were like, this guy, we shouldn't even have to pay for the pizza. This guy should pay for the entire pizza.
Well, yeah, it made no sense. You don't, book a thing and we all have to pay, or equal share. That's fair. And then just invite someone last second. That promotes inviting people last second to get it for free.
I thought your reasoning was fine. I thought it was so weird to hear Paul like kind of argue with you about that. He was like, "But it's James."
Yeah, Paul was. The person with me was
Grayson was also
injured. Grayson and Jared were like, yeah, that makes sense, and I was like, yeah, I was just think logically.
And then it really escalated when Hunter called Tanner, and he was like, "Dude, I'm gonna pull up," and Tanner's like, "No, don't."
I was losing my mind. Nobody pays.
Oh god.
But to me, it's you need to have
Aiden's place.
set rules.
Both of Aiden's places were, I think it kind of showed too, were more expensive than mine. I think mine was the cheapest of the three. Because I looked back at the prices. But yeah.
Yeah, I am interested if on our next one where we'll stay in Ohio. We'll be the old one again, or will we expand out
Michigan,
of it?
Michigan, Kentucky.
I don't know. I maybe would rather do Kentucky than Michigan.
Me too.
I love Michigan.
It's closer. Kentucky's closer, actually.
I love Michigan. It's really beautiful. It's just, I don't know, if 6-hour drive, which is like the lowest amount, which is like southern Michigan.
I think Kentucky's cheaper too than Michigan.
You'd think, like, probably, or West Virginia. Kentucky or West Virginia, I think would be nice.
Indiana would be boring, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe southern Indiana has something.
I think for me it goes first cabin, then the third one, then the second one. Just because I hate not remembering things, and that was the first time I ever blacked out, was the second one.
Oh, yeah.
So that was bad.
Which I always remember, when I think of David in retrospect now, he was kind of like, he was funny because I remember I was upstairs and he was doing stuff with you guys, and I was upstairs making dinner or something. I went to bed maybe the earliest that time, and he was like, "Your friends are so stupid." He told me that, and then he was the one that helped Connor out with his car because he locked his keys in his trunk or something.
Connor brought a fucking gun.
Yeah, he brought a gun too. He brought a gun again.
I know. Luckily he didn't whip it out at all.
Well, he did.
Oh, did he?
But
when I was in bed.
Well, he didn't when he was intoxicated, at least I think.
That's cool.
Because he was during the day and he was like, "Hold it, look at this."
We're gonna try and have a cabin trip where Connor doesn't drive, where we take him and he doesn't have any weaponry.
We have to. I think Andrew was just rage baiting me, but Andrew was talking about getting the taser, but I'm happy he didn't get one. Because he was like, "I'm gonna get it, dude." I was like, that will not age well. I'm only going to tase Connor.
Andrew does that kind of thing. He did that with the fishing, too. He's like, "Hey, can't wait to grill these boys up." And I was like, dude, it's catch and release.
Can't wait to grill these little bluegill. I forget when I was on my 6th or 7th fish, I told Paul Russell about it. He was like, "You could just about make a sandwich now."
It's pretty funny.
And then when I caught the last one, I think it was 12. He was like, "No, we got 2 sandwiches."
Now we got 2. One for both of you.
Yeah, I was like, "What the?" Talking to him was funny because when we caught a fish, he was like, "Dude, no way, seriously?"
Another thing was funny too. So Paul kept trying. He kept trying to hit the can with the rock with the slingshot, and he kept missing. And Nate was like, Paul and I were spectating this.
Yeah.
Russell. And Nate goes up, he's like, "Let me try." And then Paul's like, "All right, here you go." Hits it first try.
Yeah.
And then Nate turned back with the most aura he's ever had. And then Paul's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He started getting mad. And every time he would shoot, Nate was like, "Yeah, they ain't more to the left." And sure enough, it would go the wrong way.
That's funny. Paul got dadded on the entire catch.
He did.
He caught, because he was talking about, he's like, "Dude, I never caught a fish, but before in a long time." And then he finally caught a bluegill.
Yeah.
He's like, "I got it." And then I got it off the hook for him because the poor little thing was splashing around in the dirt. But he's like, "Dude, that was my first fish." And Andrew was making fun of him, Paul's first fish.
Oh, that's funny.
I was laughing. Andrew said something funny too. He was like, "We're the only 2 real fishermen here, bro."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. But Yeah, it was a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, all in all, we'll see what happens next year.
If there is a next year.
Whew, yeah, I think 2027 sounds like a cool year. It sounds futuristic. It's like a 2020 to me.
Any year in the future is futuristic.
No.
Alright. We'll have to wrap it up.
2091. You'll be like, what is this,
yeah,
the 90s?
Yeah, it's all 2083. Oh, the 80s, man.
We'll be like old cyborgs by then.
We're going to talk about the 80s and the 80s, and they're going to be like, what are you talking about, man? Reagan.
Little Reagan will be in a robot.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Benjamin Harris.
Strong 80s, pal.
Evil Empire? What are you talking about, man? Yeah, our grandkids are going to be making fun of us. Man, Obama? You serious?
Time's that.
Everyone's name today is 67.
We just talked about earlier how it's dead.
It's brought back. 67 Wells, go to your room.
67 Wells. I'm not gonna name my grandchild that.
I don't know why you named him, but yeah.
Fucking having a Grand Kyle in 2067.
Grand Kyle. But yeah, that's gonna be the wild. And then Kyle's gonna be like, yeah, my grandson, grandson just came here last week.
I did just talk to Kyle recently about when Myles Garrett got traded to the Rams, which we didn't even talk about. That was crazy. I was like, Kyle, you picked a wrong day to not be in the sports chat. He's like, oh, I bet. He's like, Aiden was probably freaking out. I was like, Aiden and Nate and Paul was freaking out about Russell Wilson retiring. And he's like, dude, I'm pretty happy because A.J. Brown just got traded to the Patriots.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you missed out, man.
And Paul, that was the funny exchange between Paul and Aiden.
That was so wild, too. What was it? He was like, Aiden, you don't even understand. And then he was like, I'm sorry. Like, right after that.
Yeah, I've been having a bad day.
And then Aiden was like, I think Aiden right after that was like, Paul, you got to experience your team win 2 Super Bowls. Boo-hoo. And then Paul was like, Aiden, you're literally a Patriots. And then Aiden was like, somebody's mad.
Paul's the easiest human being to get mad. It takes the slightest thing to get him off his rocker.
Imagine Paul's an old man. He's just going to be even angrier.
Seriously, get off my lawn!
Yeah, he's going to be that guy.
Yeah, he's going to be calling us and be like, seriously, these kids these days don't know respect. Back then, at least we only do it as a cat.
Fucking Paul, dude. Like, it's so funny because the other Paul's like the complete opposite personality-wise.
Yeah.
More laid back, easygoing.
Laid back Paul, he just vibes with anything.
Laid back Paul. And
he wasn't like,
Paul.
He was obviously angry, but he kind of got it over it quick, losing his glasses.
I've seen Paul get pretty mad before, but just because I've known him a long time.
Yeah. But he was a kid when you saw him.
And now he's a squid.
So, yeah.
He got pretty mad with his dirt bike when that started having issues.
Well, yeah, he's like, I just spent this money. And he lost his glasses. He wasn't happy about that.
No.
He was like, dude, I'm actually mad.
Yeah.
But he was like, still chill about it. He's like, I'm actually mad that happened. We'll go back and find it. We'll have a search party. That's what he kept saying.
Never ended up doing it. Well, he went back with Aiden because he had this bike in the truck.
And they did stop before, but I don't think they stopped at the...
Jared was at like a weird... That was like...
He was at a flower shop.
That was so weird.
Yeah.
And Grace was like, hey, Jared, or was it you that
said it? That was me.
Okay.
I think, I don't know if it was you or Grace, and I was like, where is it? Where is it? And I was like pointing.
That was me that said that.
Yeah. I didn't even see Jared. I saw the Grove City. Yeah, and I was like, he wore that. That's Jared. But yeah, that'd be crazy if we saw just a random Grove City person.
I'm glad we didn't stop because I think they all stopped to get breakfast. I'm glad we just went straight back.
Yeah, I was ready to go back. I had to.
I think you, Grace, and I all had the same vibe of like just tired.
Yeah.
Trying to get home.
Grayson had to destroy himself because he had a really early bedtime. So he's like, I had to get these Red Bulls so I won't fall asleep.
No offense to Grayson, but I was sad Grayson didn't go back with like Spencer. I was like, dang it, because we could have gone straight home and been there quicker.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But it is what it is.
Yeah.
I got a Yoo-hoo out of it, so thank you for that.
Oh yeah, I forgot I bought that. I was just tired. That was
clutch the next morning.
Yeah, I'll leave it off here.
Wrapping up here.
At the gas station when I went there, I went to the bathroom after we got gas, and I got some drinks and stuff. And I was waiting in line, and this like old lady. They all had like country accents, which was just odd to me because it's Grove City. And this old lady's like, "Your soda machine isn't working. There's no Pepsi." "I'm sorry about that, ma'am." Like he had like the same voice, and then like he's like, "Let me go in the back and fix it." And then I'm waiting in line, and then some old man comes behind me, and then another old man goes behind him, and that old man behind him goes, "What is going on?" And then like the old lady's like, "I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to hold you up." And like,
I like to imagine the cashier didn't actually have that accent. He's just trying to match
everyone else. And like he was, and the old guy behind me is like, It's no worries. And then like the guy came out and she apologizes again, and the cashier guy's like, "Everybody can wait sometimes. It's no worries." And I was like, "It's okay." And then he was like, "You want a bag, son?" And I was like, "It's fine." And then
It's fine.
and then he was like, "You have a good day." And I was like, "All right." And then left.
That's awesome.
But
I was wondering what was taking so long, because I was kind of like just chilling in the car.
Yeah, I was odd because that guy. I've been to that gas station a lot. You've seen like hilltop people, so you have like the city accent, and then the country accent, and then what I call our normal accent, where it's like, "Hi, how are you?"
Hello there.
Lovely evening.
Ian and I just watched the King of the Hill YTP called Hankel. It was so weird.
Hankel. Jared sent me the WD-40 did a crossover with King of the Hill.
Oh, that's cool.
They have a Hank on the can. He sent me that at Home Depot.
That's pretty sweet.
I was like, that's an awesome crossover. That's like the most makes sense crossover.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, audience, thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, we'll get more stuff to you guys soon. And take it easy. And all our Patreon members, which are 0, have a good day.
Donut, the whole
yes.
Whatever.
So you guys can spend $0 and get premium on our channel.
And that's a guarantee.
Yeah. So bye.